Okay, welcome back to another Menopause Diaries podcast. Paula, just fill me in on your two guests for this episode.
We have got the lovely Nina and Ita, two honestly beautiful ladies who have joined me on my very first menopause camp. Both of them have got incredible backstories. They've been suffering from perimenopausal symptoms for a good few years now. Both of them have been on quite an emotional journey. They're coming out the other side, so an absolute inspiration to so many people. So let's kind of dig into their backstory.
Yeah, and for those of you listening and you don't really know a great deal about Paula or the menopause retreat that she's talking about, basically it's a brand new enterprise where Paula is getting women together, looking at every aspect of a person's life and really drilling into how they can optimize that to help offset menopausal symptoms and just give people hope. You know, they don't have to be struggling through this stuff on their own, and you know there are things that they can do. So that's what it's all about. So let's get into it.
Well, the topic is menopause and how your experience and week has been so far, but really how you felt, you know. And I think it's the fact that Ita wasn't coming to camp to do a menopause camp, and I think that's a great story, you know, because I think so many people will resonate. I mean, it's just so sweet. I can remember it so clearly, the way you bounced in and then you in the reception and then come in and sat in the office, sat down and just burst into tears and went, I can't do it. I'm too tired.
I can't do this.
You
I
know.
don't want to do this, please.
Yeah.
I do want to do it, but I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I think that the reason I came to...
Are you recording this?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
The reason...
He can edit it. He can edit that bit.
The reason I came to camp is really to get away from everyone. A menopause makes you so unsure of everything and everybody and every aspect of your life gets turned upside down, that you have to go away, you have to be on your own because you've got a lot of stuff going on, and if you're around people it just makes the whole thing worse. And it's scary to come away. Don't get me wrong, I was terrified on that 5.5 hour journey because I thought, I want to go away and I've booked a boot camp, but I don't want to do all that. It's not that I don't want to do the exercise. I can't cope with that. I can't cope with the pain because you get more pain, bone pain with menopause. I don't want to have to make excuses for the fact that I can't do things. I don't want to do that. I just want to go and lie down and be peaceful. That's what I want. You know, I don't. So when I saw the building, first of all, I thought it was a beautiful building and very warm and welcoming. Then I walked in and saw Nima first, who was so lovely. And then I met Paula. My God, what a beautiful woman you are, Paula. Your face, you're just a ball of light. It's like you're...
energy and the aura is just so positive, isn't it?
Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. When you sat down and said, look, I'm thinking about doing a menopause week camp this week, would you be interested? It was like, I can't tell you how happy that made me feel. I just couldn't believe it. And I thought, yes, this is why I was meant to be here this week. Boom, we're in. Fantastic. I couldn't wait to ring my sister and tell her, you won't believe where I am. Anyway, so yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, bless you.
Is there a different Paula in this room? No, I'm only kidding. I mean, that was an incredible intro and, a great way to start this recording, really. I've got to say, just for people watching this, we had a little session at the start of the week where you kind of told your backstories, and I was really touched and really privileged, to hear some of the things that you lot were saying. And what really drove it home was like the severity, I don't want to say severity, I don't know if it's the right word, of the symptoms of what you're going through. You know, it was definitely opened my eyes. So can we just talk a little bit about some of the things that you was experiencing before you came to camp?
Absolutely, yeah. So my brain fog was shocking. I still feel it this week, but not as much. I couldn't coordinate even a Sunday dinner, so I wouldn't have been able to have done it. That's how bad my brain fog was. It affected me at work, it affected me at home, and I'm the one that's always in control. So when I wasn't in control, that made me feel even worse. The anxiety, the depression, what the hell is going on with my body and my mind. That for me was the toughest. Anxiety, depression, that was probably a byproduct of everything else, but again, there's the symptoms, aren't they? And I couldn't function. So I wasn't able to be productive in my role at work for the last few months. So it's been probably the lowest I've ever been. The lowest I've ever been, and I just needed to get out of that.
Did you kind of know what was causing this, or
not to start with?
No,
not to start with, and that's what we were talking about this week. Is that we have had to look back and go, that was perimenopause, that's menopause.
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem to exist in employers, husbands, doctors. There's so much that I've learnt and self-taught since I've been quite poorly, and it's an eye-opener. But what we want is to be that phase one of helping others going forward. So I feel that I'm very, very excited to be on the journey with PAULA. Met some great people on the camp, and we want to be advocates, and we want to be able to say to our daughters, the next generation, this is the sort of thing that you are going to see coming your way, and educate them before they have to look back like we do.
Definitely. I think that if we can do anything, just be a beacon to say that, look, it's going to get tough at times. There's going to be times when you don't want to get out of bed. You cry. You ache all over. You desperate for answers. You go to doctors and who just look through you, especially the male doctors. I'm sorry, but that's how it is. But you will get through it with the right tools and the right mindset. You can get through it.
But only from being on here, on this camp, I've had that confidence to say, I can get through it. I've put weight on, and now I realise why. And it's not because of the menopause, it's because of all the symptoms, the insomnia. So I'm overeating, I'm snacking at night time.
Yeah.
You know, I've put 3 stone on, and I've been like, well, it's because of menopause, that's how it's going to be. I'll try and just exercise. Well, no, I'm not in a deficit with my calories. So an education that I'm going to take away with me, there is a lot of it from this camp.
Yeah.
And hope.
Hope. Yeah, I think that's the most important thing. I know. Do you mind me repeating some of the things that we've talked about this week?
Absolutely not.
So, one of the things Ita said, which during the week, which really, really resonated with me, is that you were really happy, everything was going well in your life, and literally it was a walk from, was it a swimming pool or something?
I was at work, and I was going. Oh God, I'll never forget it. I was going on holiday. This was I even remember the day. You know, I walked out of work on a Wednesday. And by the time I'd walked across the park, because I lived at the other side of worked in a hospital, and across the park from the hospital, right next to it, was my house. Very lucky. By the time I'd got to my house and got in the door, something had changed, and I didn't know what it was, and I was so scared. And all I can remember thinking was, what's going on? I'm going mad. There's something going on. I'm scared. I was so scared. But my little girl was running around excited to go on holiday. My husband was, upstairs packing. And all I could think of was, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. I got no one to talk to and I don't know what to do. It was awful. And it was menopause because, to be honest, if I knew what I know now, I could have used those, the meditation, deep breathing, whatever I needed to use. I could have taken all these tools and I could have made it better. I could have made it better. But I did go on holiday. I managed to get on the plane, which was horrendous. But I couldn't tell anyone because But my daughter noticed that I wasn't eating and I wasn't talking. And it's only when we got to a holiday that it started to come out how I was feeling. And then the only thing that did it was my husband said, why don't you, go in the pool and do some exercise because you like that, don't you? And I went, yeah, I do. And they're doing aerobics. Why don't you join in? And I went, okay. And then within the 40-minute class, I saw a glimmer of hope. There was hope. So I knew that this was something that I could get through with. But I didn't know what it was. I just thought I was having a breakdown. I thought I was going mad. I didn't know what it was, but I just knew that I think I can get through it to the end of the 2 weeks. Do you know what I mean?
That's it. I think for so many women, I think the menopause hits women in such different ways, doesn't it? It's unique to everybody. But kind of for both of you, if you could describe in a few words the overriding emotions that you started to feel and how quickly that change happened and how it was affecting your life.
For me, it was coupled up with the long COVID that I had. So it was very difficult to determine what was COVID and what wasn't at the time. But once I started to become desperate and low.
That's a big word, isn't it? Desperate.
Yeah. And I admit it now because I am out of it, but I just wanted everything to stop. So I tried to stop. Luckily I'm still here. But yeah, it was pretty disastrous.
So that's as desperate as wanting to end your life. I mean, that says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And the amount of women that will resonate with that. I mean, I know I resonate with that.
Mm. You plan how you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Mm. You do. You think, I can't live like this. No. So there has to be, what am I going to do? I'll have to get out. I mean, thankfully, it didn't get to that point for me because I don't know how it did. I used to walk. And walking definitely helped. Again, I go back to exercise. I definitely think that exercise helps. But, I don't know. I think you just feel you lose yourself so much. You lose who you are. You think, I don't know myself anymore. Who am I? Who is this person? I couldn't talk to anyone. I used to be a singer. I used to be an entertainer. I couldn't even walk down the road because I was scared of seeing somebody that I'd have to talk to because I just didn't know whether I was going to say something that was going to sound like gobbledygook because I didn't know what...
So you shut yourself away, don't you?
Yeah.
I haven't had a good social life. I've just been a recluse. And when you're talking about walking, even an episode recently, probably I think it was July, I walked because I felt bad again, but this was at like 3:00 in the morning, and I walked and sat with my legs dangling into a river.
I mean, that in itself is quite dangerous to walk on your own at 3:00 in the morning and sit with your legs dangling.
But I used to be scared to go out because I used to think to myself, will I know the way back? I mean, I've never said that before, actually.
Well,
I've never actually said that before, but it's absolute truth.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I was going to be able to get back again. So I used to be then scared to go out, which just makes the whole thing worse, doesn't it? And the whole anxiety thing. You don't know whether you're coming or going. And then you get... It's not so much the flushes with me. I don't know about you. No one's really mentioned flushes. And you know what? It's the first thing that most people, when you talk about menopause, they'll say, oh, the hot flushes and the night sweats. Well, not one person has mentioned that.
No,
because
not
that
this week.
Sorry, go on. Did you used to get them? I got them, but I don't now because I'm on HRT.
Yeah.
So I may have the odd one, but it's not anything that I need to talk about now because it's not reoccurring.
Yeah.
On that one.
Yeah, because as I say, I read and 34 symptoms of menopause. I had 32 of them at one point. 32.
It's so...
Can't believe it.
Do you know, I'm going to ask you a question, Craig. Woo! From a husband's perspective, because I think one of the things that a lot of women feel is that they can't express how they're feeling because maybe they've looked after their family, they've been the matriarch, the one that everyone looks to for support, and all of a sudden their world is falling around and they're trying so hard to keep it together. How is that from a husband's or a male perspective, do you think, to live with that and to see that happening?
Well, it's hard. I mean, in many different aspects, many different angles is it hard. So the first thing, obviously, you want to help, you want to do something about it, but actually you can't. You know what I mean? Stopping short of like just trying to be a bit understanding, but then you don't understand it. How am I going to understand? You know what I mean? It's really, really tough. And every day that I've spent, like, with you talking about the camp and speaking to you, like today, 34 symptoms and I've got 32. It just blows your mind.
I know.
That you're having to deal with that. The way that it just comes on in so many different ways for different people. It's like your menopause fingerprint. It's different for everybody, and so and then I think everybody underestimates that kind of the power of the mind and the neurotransmitters in your brain and hormones. Like, we all underestimate it, don't we? And so and I think it's easy, especially because it sounds like that thing, how you boil a frog and you put the frog in a pot of water and then you slowly turn the temperature up. Before you know it, the frog's boiled. And that sounds like the menopause creeping in, you know what I mean? You start off and it's just like a few symptoms here and there, and then all of a sudden it's like, my God, I feel like I'm cracking up and, and I need to get away. And I think in those early stages, especially when you started to, some of your symptoms started to manifest, you're like, oh, yeah, she's going crackers there, you know what I mean? And it's... because there isn't an event where it's like bang, okay, that's it now. It's hard. It's hard.
Men find it very difficult. My husband, to be fair to him, he has been very supportive. Actually, as supportive as you can be as a man. Sorry, but But he's like when he said, oh, why don't you go in the pool? You like it.
I know.
I know.
Was that the voice? Was that the voice?
I know, that's right.
Oh, like Betty.
I think you're going through the menopause.
It was like, almost as if like, well, that will be okay, because when you get out of that, you'll be back to normal again.
Yeah. Because I really want you to be back to normal again.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
But actually now, even now, you get a bad day. I mean, I started when I was 48. I'm now 56. So, and we're still not quite there. And I remember there were days when I would go, I'm not good today. And he'd go, all right, okay. And I'd say, he said, what do you want to do? And I'll go, I don't want to do anything. And he'll say, do you want to go to bed? And I, again, thinking that go to bed, we're out the way.
Oh, sorry.
Go to bed and have a little sleep.
Yeah.
Well, sleep off.
You'll be fine. Yeah,
sleep off
it
this
off.
menopause.
it was quite, you know, you can't, in a way it was quite sweet. I mean, his mum said, I never went through the menopause. His mum would never, you know, she never went through the menopause. No.
Well, that's the thing, the generation before us, which are obviously our parents, you didn't see that. And I think a lot of it is to do with the internet, the stressors, work, everything's just so different now.
Yeah.
And I think, not sounding disrespectful, but there was a lot of housewives.
Yeah.
So it was a home thing, and they didn't have outside pressures, whereas now it's completely different.
Completely. Stress. Oh God.
Well, I often think if you look back to the 50s when so many housewives and so many women of a menopausal, you know, perimenopausal age became addicted to Valium, and they called it mother's little helper or something, didn't they?
Yeah.
And I often wonder if that was why, that was
Yeah.
one of the reasons.
Yeah.
You know, because
That's
they were struggling
interesting.
so much. So what would you say, because both of you have been on this journey for quite a long while and have really been to the depths of, you know, been desperate and despair and have now really kind of coming out the other side, which I think is wonderful. If there's women at home now listening to this feeling desperate, what would you say to them?
You want to go first?
Yeah, straight away it'll be, there is hope. I found it difficult that I had to grieve the old Nina because she's not there anymore.
Yeah.
So the transition is the new Nina. So it's just working out that what fits your criteria, what fits your body, what fits your hormones, and research about gut health, research about hormone levels, getting some understanding your actual levels and see what you're deficient in, and just the education of it, plus coming to a camp like this. Like, I've got friends who are like, you need to tell me how it goes. I've not heard about this. I've got a therapist who is CBT and menopause specialist. She hasn't heard of anything. She really wants feedback from me. And coming here has increased that hope, I don't know how many fold. Just by meeting you. You are amazing. Paula, you're absolutely amazing.
You are.
Yeah. And I wanted to be on the camp and kind of bullied you into the first one.
You did, putting me into it. because I've said to you is, the reason that I wanted to create this is because I've suffered and I want to give hope to women.
Yeah.
I think it's really important that women our age, and I'm sorry for saying it again because I've said it all week, but women our age understand that we've got 30, 40 years left of our lives.
Absolutely.
And we've had so much experience and we're so wise, and these need to be the best years of our life.
100%.
You know, and it's not the end. And I think what perimenopause brings is a feeling that it is the end. You feel like, for me, I felt like I was getting Alzheimer's.
Oh, I may.
You know,
I asked a doctor.
Peter, can I just ask you, pull your mic just a little bit closer?
Oh, sorry.
That's it. That's all right. That's all right.
I went to a doctor and said, okay, I think I've got early onset dementia, Alzheimer's. Can you help me? And it was a man, obviously. And he said, oh, don't be ridiculous. And I said, well, you don't know. You don't know. He says, I can tell you're all right. That's what he said. I can tell you're all right. I mean, that helped me a little bit, I suppose. There's a part of me that thought, okay, you can tell I'm all right. I must be all right. But then I thought, well, what is it then?
I know.
Why do I feel like this? But I think with other women, I mean, you have to understand that, first of all, you have to understand that it's normal. This menopause, what we're going to be going through, is normal, yeah? Don't be scared. Don't be scared like I was. Don't be scared, because it's fine. We'll get through it. You'll get through it. You've got this great tools out there now that weren't even there 8 years, 10 years ago, but they are around now. There's a lot more information about menopause. And if you're not, go to the doctor and demand that you are, put on HRT or there's menopausal specialists, there's doctors, there's menopause clinics. You know, if you're lucky enough to have money, go and see someone privately. You know, don't take no for an answer. Do not allow yourself to walk out of a doctor's surgery feeling that no one's listening and no one cares, right?
And get the blood tests as well. Demand the blood test.
You can demand a blood. I mean, I'm not over keen on. Personally, I think that blood tests don't really show you anything. I mean, I was just, oh well, they're all normal levels. That's
It's
it.
the thing. It's not the granular detail that you need to go into. But the hope's there, isn't it?
And I think it sounds like the old, this new term, well, relatively new term, gaslighting, where you're made to feel like, you're doing something wrong or something like that. Oh, you're all right, I can tell.
100%.
Well,
Yeah.
But I'm not all right because that's why I'm here.
I sat in a doctor's surgery, and my husband was actually with me because he knew how bad I was. And I'm trying to sort of explain to this doctor how bad I felt. And I just knew there was no point. There was no point to this conversation. I just said, there's no point me being here because you're not listening to me.
They don't get it, do
They
they?
don't get it.
So what I hear on the podcasts, Louise Newton, she is amazing. And it's all about educate. You have to educate yourself by listening to these podcasts. And for me, I understand from these podcasts that GPs haven't been trained, even gynecologists haven't been trained. So where the hell do you get that information from to support yourself? So it is, at the minute, it's research and bringing that.
But some people don't have the time, the effort that it takes to research, the energy that it takes. They can barely get out of bed. They can barely open their eyes because of how they're feeling. And then they have to try and work it out for them. It's so hard. It is. Honestly, one day, it was all I could do to get out of bed, go downstairs, have a cup of tea or make a cup of tea and come upstairs again. That's all I did because I just couldn't do anything else. You know what I mean? I mean, that's...
Yeah.
One of the bad days, and thankfully Nick was at work that day, and my daughter was off at college or school. I don't remember now, or work. I just remember thinking, thank God they're not around to see me like this, because it's not me, But I don't know what I'm going to do when they, So I had to get up before they got in and just paint this face on them. God, it was hard.
You couldn't even go out for a walk. It
No.
was like no exercise, no nothing.
Not that day. That
It's
was
so
one of those days.
lonely.
Oh, it's
such a lonely existence
very,
when
very
you
It is,
don't
isn't
do
it?
anything about it.
So I think isn't it? So for me, what I want to say to people is you are heard. We said this week, didn't we, how lucky we are that we're of this generation now where we can speak about it and shout out about it. So that's it now. It will get better, hopefully, for every generation because they'll be equipped for it. So why do you think you two are sitting here looking beautiful and young now, having gone through this experience? What have you done? What's changed?
I think that it's a lot of different things. You're not going to get a quick fix. You've got to. It's exercise. I'm sorry, but that's what it is. You've got to get up and you've got to move your body because moving your body, it helps your brain, it helps the mind, it helps the cortisol. Is it the cortisol, whatever it is? Good happy hormone.
Stress hormone. Yeah.
You have to move first and foremost. And number two, you have to allow the process to happen. I mean, I went on HRT, but I didn't go on HRT until quite late. And I was on antidepressants for a long time, thinking that was the way forward. And I don't know. I suppose it's just a mixture of definitely diet that helps. Alcohol a little. Sorry, no, maybe I shouldn't say that. We can get rid of that. That definitely got me through some days. A couple of glasses of wine.
Well, I think all these coping strategies. It's like anything, like your own personal strengths. Like one of my strengths is I'm really determined. But a strength done too much becomes a weakness, and sometimes I can go down with a ship because I'm trying that hard. And alcohol is a coping strategy, and actually, it's a perfectly fine coping strategy. within reason. You know what I mean? But if you're having a couple of bottles of wine a night and, you know, it's every night and you don't remember going to bed, well, now we've got a bit of a problem. But it's, you know, so, you know, these coping
I think it's
mechanisms
important
are
also
there.
to talk. There's another one.
Yeah.
To talk, just to talk to someone.
Just share it.
You know what I mean? Just to
slightly.
share it.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you start sharing something, it becomes less of an issue all of a sudden. And then you find that someone goes, I have that. That's what happens to me. I get that. Oh my God. And I lost count the amount of people have said, I thought I was going mad as well. You know what I mean? And anyway.
That helps massively, doesn't it? Even you guys don't know how much you've helped me this week. Just by us laughing about, and that's exactly what I wanted to happen. I wanted to laugh about the things that we've laughed about.
Yeah.
Because you realise that there's a unity in that, and there's a strength in that, a strength to be gained from each other.
That's what I have felt, a sisterhood here.
Yeah.
We've got menopause and non-menopause boot camp going, and everybody wants to be in our club.
Oh, no, they don't.
Yeah.
When you've come out of this, you know, you've been at rock bottom, you've come out of it, you've realised you can do anything.
I love
now.
that. I love that, Ita. I love that. And that is it. You
But I think-
can.
There is nothing
No.
that I
Phoenix
can't do.
rising from the ashes, like a bad
Yes,
bit.
exactly.
Like what?
Like a bad bit.
Oh my
Don't
God.
get in our way
That
now.
makes
We are ready for the rest of our lives, and let me tell you,
Oh,
I'm not taking no shit.
no,
from you.
no.
No, we can get rid of that.
No, don't get
No,
rid
I'm
of
keeping
that.
it.
Don't get rid of that, because that's what people need to hear.
Yeah.
But I
That's
think
what we need to hear.
a couple of times you've mentioned grieving, you know, grieving the old you and all that kind of stuff. And when you look at the stages of grief, you know, it's very similar to what you said. There's a bit of denial at first, and then the depths of despair, and then, you know, there's a bit of a chance, and then there's like an acceptance, and then you kick on, and, you know, and so I think anybody that's kind of listening to this and you ask stuff, have a look at that stages of grief, because you could probably put yourself on that process somewhere, and thereby perhaps know what's coming next. You know, hopefully it won't be just on the, you know, the depths of despair, but at least you can prepare yourself for it. You know,
This for me was the right time, because I was I informed myself. I knew where I needed to go now, because I'd been so low. But I knew that this would be a reset button for me, and to have everybody share the same information, the same feelings. And for me, what I'd like to take out of this and to say to others is the weight. I've put on so much weight, and I've just been resigned to the fact, because of the menopause, I keep trying to exercise, and it's not coming off. Well, that's because I've got insomnia and I'm binging, or I'm eating late at night. I'm not in a deficit. My calorie isn't in a deficit. So that's my issue. It's not a menopause issue. And that is a massive education I've taken away from this week. Food as well. It's like, there's no point me doing all the exercise if I'm going to mess it up with food. It has to be the right food. And that's something that I will take away as well. I've booked a gastro pub for the Friday, just to say well done to myself, but then go straight back on it again, and I'll be taking a cookbook and I'll be learning. There's no point me doing this and not taking it with me, because I'm just going to fail.
Yeah.
So for me, massive education, massive respect for what you're doing, and I feel like I'm a different person coming out of this.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been in quite a few different boot camps before, I'm going to be honest. I won't name any of them. But I have been to boot camps before when I only ever just felt like a number, you know. I wasn't even a name. I just felt like a number in a way. And I just felt like I used to lose weight at the end of the week. Of course I did. But I knew that it would all go back on, because I didn't feel as if there wasn't enough information with that, you know. This was different. Boot camp menopause is different, because not only are you getting exercise, which is what we all need to keep our brains nice and clear and the brain fog away, and the brilliant food which keeps the brain fog away, but you're also getting a sense of lots of information, but not rammed down your throat that you don't take it in. It's given to you in a very a delicate and gentle way, and for you to understand, for you to be able to say, okay, I get that now. I never got that before. Now I know why X, Y, Z. I'm going to take that away with me. I've never ever done that before. I've never ever taken away anything I've just gone home and carried on as normal. You know what I mean? But now I really think that I know what to do to get me through bad moments in my life, to get me through, I have my tools all set up now that I can then use if I have a bad day, menopausal or non-menopausal. I've now got the tools to carry on the rest of my life and to have the best life I can possibly have, because we all owe it to ourselves. We've done great jobs. A lot of us have raised families, we've had careers, we've had partners, we've had homes, we've looked after blah 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 blah. Right now it's time for the next stage of our life when we have to look after us.
And I don't like the word selfish, but I've looked after and I'm concerned, and I like to motivate, and I've done that with everybody but me. It's my time.
It's your time.
And menopause, go. Oh, you know what, women, have a menopause, because then you can come here, and then you can go. Yeah, this is great.
Our girl power. We're going to have a tribe, have a sisterhood. Craig will have to help me, as I've said to you, because I'm so menopausally not geared into Facebook and all those kind of things. But we will create a sisterhood and a platform for the people at home that don't even feel that they can get out of bed to contact us and talk to us and all share our experiences and help each other. That is so important to me. It's
we know
that's
that.
it.
We know that you care.
Yeah.
I mean, my sister talked about menopausal. She used to call it the. She actually did start a menopausal talk group that was called Pause, where you pause and talk.
Yeah.
But it didn't really, nothing really came of it, and I don't really know why. I don't really know why. Is it because women are still a little bit scared to open up? I don't know. Women mustn't be scared to talk about how they're feeling, because it's only by talking and sharing that we can move forward. Because women need women more than
100%.
More than men need men. Men
No,
are
I'm
fine.
all right on my own.
He's all right.
He is all right on his
Genuinely
own.
all right on my own.
Yeah.
I had this conversation with my brother. My brother was like, no, men need me. And I was like, no, I'm fine. And he's like, no, you're not. I am.
Well, no, what was it? He said he needed his wife and his family to need him. And I said, Craig does not need me. And he was like, no, he does, Paula. I went, I'm telling you, he does not need me.
Women need women.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And thankfully, we're here.
Yeah. And we'll keep in touch. We've got our WhatsApp group already.
We keep in
100%.
touch. We keep in touch.
So and meet up and experience things, and maybe even have a little glass of alcohol.
Yeah.
Not allowed on camp.
My plan is for us to do things, if it's twice, 3 times a year, to do crazy things that we would never have thought about doing. One of Craig's friends got this huge, great big zip wire place. Let's go zip wiring for the day. Do you know how I think?
I wouldn't
do that, but knowing
Just
Paula
do
would
it.
be naked.
Yeah.
On the
Oh
zip
yeah, we
wire.
will. I deliberately didn't mention this tonight because I don't want to frighten people to come to camp. But my ultimate goal is, at the end of the week, don't worry, nobody. I'm not going to force anyone to do it. But just to, jump naked in the river.
It all sounds sometimes, it doesn't. I don't want anyone to think it's like, ooh, woo-woo, as you
Yeah.
call it,
Yeah.
woo-woo. It's not woo-woo at all. It couldn't be further from woo-woo. It's reality.
Yeah.
This is reality, what we're having to go through. And I just hope that what we've experienced, us ladies, you know, we can pass that on. And the next, they're not scared to come, you know, when it happens to them, they're not thinking, oh God, what's that, crying into their pillow at night. And, you know, they can say, oh, I know what this is. Oh, this is okay. We're fine. We can do this.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe in 20 or 30 years' time, it won't be an issue anymore. You know,
If we've got people like us behind it who are advocates, I'm determined to spread the word and to be that advocate even in my social network.
yeah,
Because most of them are around my age.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm a little tiny bit older, but I know I've got a friend of mine who's younger than me, and she went into what they call it, you know, that menopause when it's
early,
like
when they're forced into it, or
forced
early,
menopause.
forced menopause.
Yeah, through hysterectomy.
Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, she's suffered. She's really suffered, and you know, I watched this. She's still a most beautiful thing, but sometimes you just feel like, you know, like she goes to Louise a lot. Louise Newson, and she's really helped. She's been amazing. But I've watched this beautiful woman crumble at times into this. Oh God, it's been horrible to watch. God, and but she's back. But she's on it. She's on it. But it's taken a long time. And you know, she wasn't expecting that. That's for sure. But anyway.
Well, I think this is perfect time to wrap it up then, Paula. So I'll give you the closing words. Have you got anything to say to your guests, but also to anybody that's watching?
I have got something to say to my lovely guests. So this week was kind of a trial menopause week. So it's not been the full menopause because you didn't really get much at the weekend. So, but thank you so much. The kind of universe collaborated and brought us together. So I'm just so grateful because you've given me the confidence to do what's been in my heart for a long time. So that's really wonderful. And what I'd say to other people is we're at the beginning of creating something I believe is really beautiful. And I think if you believe it's beautiful, then it will be beautiful. And what the camp is doing is it is first and foremost, it's embracing women that need a sisterhood. Let's call it that, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's opening our arms to them and saying, you don't have to feel like this. You don't have to feel lonely. And it's not a whole week talking about menopause. It's a week about talking about, like you say, exercise, the correct exercise for women who are going through perimenopause, menopause, what our bodies needs, what our bodies needs from a nutritional perspective, how we deal from a mindset perspective of the anxiety and the depression, the brain fog, how we can relax. So it's a week of complete self-care and understanding of ourselves. What you haven't had this week is any guest speakers, but I hope that's something we plan to bring into the camp.
I can see this just getting stronger and stronger and stronger and better and better. And then you're going to say, oh, I'm going to do this. Oh, this is going to happen. Oh, and next thing, it's going to...
I'm expecting it to blow up.
Oh, no, yeah. But it won't, well, we won't be enough because there'll be so much information.
Listen, you two will always be enough. You'll be part. I'll be ringing you up saying, can you come and help with this, please? Come down and do this.
Seriously,
And,
if you need any help,
Yeah.
me and Nina are on it.
Yeah.
You just let us know if you're... trust in it, because we are just there, aren't we?
We're the menopause bad bitches.
Bad bitches.
You know, when we go away on these weekends, that's what we have on the T-shirts. You know how they have like the hen party? We're going to have the menopause bad bitches.
Yeah. We kick menopause ass. Yeah.
I'm running for menopause. Cool.
That's brilliant.
Brilliant. Okay,
Absolutely
so
brilliant.
thank you very much, ladies, for sharing your story and your input. It's been
no
really
problem.
insightful for me, and hopefully people that are watching this, it's been really insightful and reassuring for them as well. So thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Cool.
Oh, that was great.